Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be reviewing my December 2022 Shop My Stash and then introducing you to January's hot picks for 2023. So if that's something you want to watch, then please stick around. All right, so for those of you who may be new to Shop My Stashes, basically I consider myself a beauty and makeup enthusiast and lover, which is really just a fancy way of saying kind of a hoarder and a collector. So Shop My Stash allows me to utilize all of my products to make sure I'm, not wasting anything. Hopefully, create some pans and some like eyeshadows or complexion products, and hopefully use some stuff up too. And just really remembering what I love in my collection. I usually do the first part of the video is reviewing the month previously, just kind of what I used up, if I used up anything, what I liked, what I didn't like, and then I introduce you to January stuff. So let's review December. So we will start with this for right now. So one thing that I did use up was the Ritual Defeat Thorn Oil. This is the Priming Facial Elixir. Don't let the red fool you. It is really not that red. I mean, the liquid is red, but it doesn't go on red to your skin. So I was able to use this all the way up. My thoughts on it is that I think this is going to be perfect for somebody who is super duper duper dry. I think it works really well as a nighttime facial oil, but before makeup, unless you are super super dry, I don't think it works very well. So I would recommend like a different moisturizer or a different primer. But I did like this for nighttime. Just wasn't a fan of it before makeup, but I did use it all the way up, so that's always exciting. This one I am almost all the way up. This is the Power Grip Primer by e.l.f. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip dupe. I in previous videos said that I liked the Milk Makeup one better because I felt like it had more tack to it, but actually since I stopped using this as my main kind of moisturizing primer before this actually does have a lot of tack to it and is just as good, if not better, than the Milk Makeup one. So if you are in the market for a gripping type of primer, I would recommend this one. They actually just came out one. It's pink. It is a Power Grip, but it has like niacinamide in it, so it just has extra skincare benefits. So if that's something that you enjoy, then I would consider picking that one up. As far as complexion products, this was the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. I have mine in the shade 3. Well, we'll talk about this one in conjunction. So this is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, and I have mine in the shade 100 or light neutral. So I am fair to light with a neutral, cool leaning undertone. The Hourglass one was like I felt like a twinge yellow. This one I think is a better match for me. And to be honest, like neither one of them really blew me away. I think I liked the Haus Labs one better than the Hourglass one. I noticed, because typically I'll kind of go in with like a pump and a half, and I'll pat that out with either a brush or a sponge, and I noticed that it just seemed too much. So I actually just did a pump and kind of just see what coverage I had left. And this one, I liked this one better for color match as well as how it laid out in my face. It is pretty luminous. So don't think that this is like a skin matte or a skin finish. This is pretty luminous. This one, again, it's all right, but there was nothing that like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. But other people, this is like their holy grail, so I don't really get it. So yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about that. I completely forgot to bring my concealer, just because I am in the process of doing my declutter series, which I will link up in the corners for you if you're interested in that. Concealers is coming up, and I already put my concealer that I was using for that in there, but I was using the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. I'll put it on the screen for you. That one is actually super duper nice. I forget what color I have. It's definitely in the fair light range. Again, I will put it on the screen. Everything will be linked down below for you too if you ever are interested in shopping through my affiliated links. I do appreciate it. It does support this channel, but is of no cost to you. So it's like a win-win. But anyways, that concealer I really, really do enjoy, and it's beautiful for like a no makeup day when you're just wanting to slap on some concealer and not go like full out with foundation or anything. It blends out super nicely. I didn't notice any sort of creasing or issues with it, so I would recommend that one as well. And then as far as powders, so I was using the Haus Labs Bio Blurring Loose Setting Powder. I had mine in the translucent color. I use this for all over my face, and what I was using a big powder brush for it, but then I recently got this Sigma, maybe it's the F65. It was in my new makeup haul, which again I can link up in the corner for you, and it's kind of like a flat oval shape, and I've been using that to press on the powder opposed to just kind of like putting it all over a powder brush, and that I've noticed a better difference with. I don't know if it's just more of like the powder actually getting pressed into the skin opposed to just kind of put on with a brush, like a big fluffy brush. I have no idea. This was nice. Was it absolutely mind-blowing? No. So, you know, if you already have a powder, I mean, it does have some like blurring effects, but it's not going to take pores away. It's not going to like make you look airbrushed. It just kind of makes everything look a little bit more even. So if that's something you're wanting for your skin, then I would recommend it, but I do think there are better ones out there. This one was great. This was the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush, again in the shade, this one's fair medium. The full name is Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish, Complexion Perfecting Eye and Face Micro Powder. So this comes in a little compact, and it is refillable. I do, because this is like swirly whirly, but you can see, I mean, I made a pretty good dent in it. It works really well underneath the eyes. It does give a nice brightening effect. Again, kind of mixed with that Charlotte Tilbury concealer. Looked really beautiful, no creasing, didn't look cakey, didn't look heavy. It was just really nice. I did use this every once in a while around the face, but I try to keep the concentration of the brightening kind of more under the eyes and like kind of the T area. So this one was really great. All right, so more of face complexion products. My two bronzers, again, I actually have gone, what is uploaded so far? My blush and bronzer declutters are both uploaded. So if you want to see what made the cut, obviously these made the cut because these are a little bit newer to my collection and I just really like them. So this is the Milani Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in Sunlight or 01. Again, in those declutters, I actually go in and I swatch everything as well. This barely looks like it's been used at all, but I used a lot of it. It was really nice, buildable, blendable bronzer alliteration, basically. It is more cool tone, which suits me very well. And I kind of always like to have a cream and powder bronzer, just again, because I'm really trying to use up my makeup and that just seems like what I should be doing. So this was my powder bronzer. And then it was a lot of Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer in Fair. And this is a ginormous bronzer. As you can see, I kind of concentrate my brush over here. I use a very kind of like stiff, more of a dense brush. I use the Patrick Ta like contour brush. I might be able to put a picture on here. It's one of my favorite brushes, especially for like bronzer and contour. So that's why it kind of has that like unique shape right there. But yeah, really beautiful. This one, I even said it in my bronzer video, you do have to work for it a little bit. It's definitely not something that you can just like effortlessly slap on and be good. Like you're gonna have to stamp it where you want it, then blend it out a little bit. So it's not as super duper easy, but it's still really nice. So I would recommend it. And again, I am fair to light, and this fair shade works really well. As far as blushes, I used the Gucci Radiant Pink Blush Debutante. Again, beautiful packaging, really nice kind of pinky peach coral, more pinky peach. Again, used a lot of this. It is nice where you can kind of blend it up. It's not super opaque when you first put it on, but it is nice to build up. Just kind of gives you a flush to the cheeks. Really pretty, really like it. This is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow, and then the shade is Coral. I've said it in a few videos, is that I was thinking I was getting this color, this really nice orange color, when in fact that is just the packaging. You open it up and it is more of a coral color. Again, not, what do I say? I think it's pretty, but I don't think I would have picked it up again in this shade, knowing that it is not this color. The other pinky one, I forget what it's called, like a super vibrant pink. I'm still interested in that, but again, the formula wasn't super duper great either. It's not life-changing like some people say it is. Maybe it almost seems a little bit hard pressed too. So I don't know, maybe the pink one is a little bit different, but this one I wasn't going super gaga over, but it is really pretty and I will continue to use it. I don't know if it'll make next year's declutter though, so you'll have to stick around and see. All right, so as far as eyes, so I did use up all, use this all the way up. This is the Lottie London Super Fake mascara. This is become one of my new holy grails. I could tell it was starting to go because this doesn't normally flake or smudge, but then it kind of started to when it was getting towards the end of its life. The wand is beautiful. I have such hooded eyes that, and I'm also like super haphazard when it comes to putting on my mascara. So this was a really beautiful wand to use. Formula was great. I think it lengthened, it volumized. I don't ever really have any issues with curls, so I can't really say too much about that, but I thought it did a great job. I already have another one of these waiting to be used. This one I did open up. This is the Milani Highly Rated Anti-Gravity Mascara. To not be confused, I think they have a just anti-gravity without the highly rated in front of it, which I've heard is not so great. This one actually, I was a little bit worried about the wand because, as I just said, I have hooded eyes. So this kind of tapered brush, or more of an hourglass shaped brush, makes me a little bit nervous, especially how I put on mascara. But the formula of this is actually really great. I have no issues with the formula. Again, I would say this is more of a lengthening one, not as much as volumizing, although it does give you some volume. It just wasn't as much as the Lottie London one. To combat my haphazardness, I actually found a trick that if I use like a little compact mirror and I kind of look down while putting my mascara on, it doesn't get as much on my eyelid as it normally would if I was just looking straight on. So that might be a tip for anybody who else has that problem like myself. So I will continue to use this one up. I should have said that I'm also going to be using the e.l.f. Power Grip primer until I use that all the way up too. So those will be two things that I'm moving forward into the next Shop My Stash. This is the Kosas Airbrow in the shade Dark Brown. Love this so much. I think it gives great color, great hold. My eyebrows are relatively filled in. There's a few sparse areas up front, but this does a really great job, super fast too, like really, really fast. So I will be continuing to use this one as well. And then getting down to the eye palettes. So this is the mini Natasha Denona Mini Glam palette. This really beautiful, just wore it the other day for kind of a New Year's Day date with my husband. Super pretty. You can, dress it up, dress it down. Excuse me. The only thing I wish this was a little bit less yellow leaning. Again, I am more of a cool neutral undertone, and with this yellow, if you use that as a base, personally on me, then it almost looks like jaundicey or kind of black eye bruisey. So this has to be used sparingly for me. So I wish this was a different color, but all the other colors are super beautiful. And pretty much I only use Natasha Denona palettes. This one is the Zendo palette. I wish they would stop doing the shiny ones. Like this one is a nice matte, soft matte touch. I wish they would do all that. But so here's the Zendo palette. To be honest, I used this once. I had such high hopes to use more of these like cool tone greens. Every time I opened it up, I always kind of had like what do I say? I didn't really have enough time, or didn't make enough time to use this enough, if that makes sense. Like the other ones you'll see with the My Dream palette and the Glam, those are kind of like easy go-to, like I already know what I'm gonna do types of palettes. This one required a lot more thought in the color story, and I just didn't give myself enough time to kind of work with it. So the one thing that I did do, I think I used pretty much this row right here, and did kind of a nice soft peach look, and I think I used that as a topper. It's a little bit more of a duochrome, kind of a gold, blue, green. I don't know if you could see that on camera, but I would really like to use this again. I just think this one requires a little bit more time to think about it, and not just an easy something visual comes to my mind of like, yes, this is what I want to do. So my thoughts on that. And then the last palette was the Natasha Denona My Dream palette, one of her newest palettes to have come out. I think this was her holiday palette for 2022. Really beautiful. I am glad that I picked this up. I was debating it because I do have the retro one, not the retro glam. That one I do not like. I just can't get down with that color story for some reason. But this one is so pretty. I used this Nurture color. This is kind of a very neutral, almost cool tone leaning brown. This is a beautiful transition shade to kind of wear all over, just to kind of give your eyes some definition. These shimmers are beautiful. So I would recommend this if you don't have any Natasha Denona palettes. I would start with this one. I think it's a really nice use of a lot of her different formulas. She has her creamed powders, she has her shimmers, she also has a multi-chrome in here. The mattes are really beautiful, so really did enjoy this one. All right, so let's recap December's, the last Shop My Stash of 2022. All right, so on to January. So kind of starting in skincare and foundation, concealer. So once I do finish up that e.l.f. putty I almost called it the putty primer. It's the Power Grip Primer. I think I'm going to start using this. This is the LYS Think Bright Glow and Hydrate with vitamin C and hyaluronic acid. I will see how it works underneath stuff. If not, it might just be used for a nighttime moisturizer again, or a nighttime hydrator. Again, only time will tell. You kind of have to test things out first. If not, I'm sure I have some other like Power Grip type of primer that I can use, but I did want to rotate this in because I mean, that sparkle is just beautiful. Well, I don't know why I'm saying something else. It's literally right here. This is what I'm using as a primer. This I actually just got in to try for Influencer. If you're not familiar, Influencer is basically a company that sends out PR to pretty much everyday people who just do reviews on things, and the more reviews you do, the better, more likelihood that you get PR. So this one just came in. This is a new CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skincare Color Correcting Serum, Moisturizer, and Primer. And this one is the Redness Neutralizer. So I will be very interested to see what this does. It says for fair skin tones, so that's perfect. Let's see. I'm just literally just turning the box around and around and around. Has niacinamide. I thought I would say more. Oh, color corrected. This is avocado and ceramide complex plus niacinamide for stress-sensitive skin, color-correcting serum and moisturizer and primer in one, formulated with 1.8% niacinamide to calm and correct tone-related sensitivity issues instantly over time. Adaptive pigments instantly neutralize and correct skin tone. Skin looks even and flawless, ready for makeup. So this, let's see what it actually looks like. I don't want to destroy the box because I still have to take pictures. So again, it kind of has that like pea green type of look, but that's the green that's supposed to neutralize the red. So if you're familiar with color wheel, color theory, green neutralizes red. So kind of interesting, it didn't come with a top. There is no top in here. I'm not saying like it needs it, but I'm sure there has to be some sort of locking method on there. Anyways, so this is what I'm going to be using as a primer once I'm done with the e.l.f. But I probably need to start now because your reviews do have to be within a certain time frame. Anyways, this is my primer. Moving on. All right, so for foundation, I'm using this, just came out. This is L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. I got mine in N1 or Neutral Light. I have already used this once and it was beautiful. Again, it wasn't like a full day wear test. It was that day date I was talking about, the New Year's Day day date. So it's kind of just like midday till, I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8, and I took it off, but it was really beautiful. The color match is great. So I'm excited to try this one. And then of course I had to bring out my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Flawless Foundation. I have mine in the shade 5. This is the #1 foundation that I've gotten so many compliments on. Like, you know, like I don't know why, but people don't really compliment people's makeup anymore. But when they do and they compliment mine, like 90% of the time, this is the foundation I was wearing. So of course, when I ran out and Sephora was having a sale, I had to pick it up because who doesn't want to be complimented? So yes. So there's that. And then for concealer, I recently picked up the Jouer Essential High Coverage Concealer Pen. And this is what it looks like. So kind of triangular shape, perfect to get into your eye creases. Little pump top. Mine came in the shade Creme, so hopefully that works out for me. All right, so as far as powders and creams, where do we want to start? I guess we'll start with loose powder. So this is the Sigma Soft Focus Setting Powder in Vanilla Bean. Again, this will kind of be my all over face powder. And then this is the CoverGirl Advanced Radiance Powder. This will be my under eye concealer. It also could probably be an all over face powder as well. I use this in conjunction with the Charlotte Tilbury one from earlier. And I almost think this made it brighter. I don't know how, because it is more like tinted or whatnot, but it was beautiful. So I'm very much looking forward to using those. As far as bronzer, so in my bronzer declutter, I was talking about how I really wanted to finish this up. This is the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer All Over Warming Complexion Tint in the shade Light by Makeup by Mario. So I would love to be able to finish this all the way up. It is very balmy, it's very sheer, so you do need to use a lot of it to kind of build it up, but that will be good on my end of things, so I can actually pan a bronzer all the way up. That'd be great. The powder bronzer I'm going to be using is the Sigma Matte Bronzer in Medium. That happens every single time. So this is what it looks like. Again, I do all my swatches in my bronzer declutter so you can see what that looks like and my thoughts. I ended up getting the medium over the light because the medium just looked like it had more substance to it, but actually in person it looks a little bit darker than it does online. So again, if you are like super porcelain fair, I probably would lean towards the light one. I am curious to see what it looks like all over the face because I haven't used it yet. So we'll see if I made a good decision getting the medium. All right, as far as blush, I am gonna be using this Clinique Nude Pop Cheek Blush or Blush Pop, whatever it's called. So again, very kind of nudie, neutral type of blush, really excuse me, really pretty, kind of like is it blush, is it bronzer, we don't know. So excited to try that. And the packaging just is so adorable, and the embossing, beautiful. And then I'm going to pull out this one for more of a pinky blush. This is my ColourPop Prenup Super Shock Cheek in like a satin formula. Again, I rave about how I love it's so easy to pan and finish up these Super Shocks, and they're relatively inexpensive, so I don't feel cheated by them by not having so much product, but it is always satisfying to get a pan and finish it up. And before they expire, that's always nice. And then for a highlighter, this is actually another Influencer product. This is the new Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect highlighter. Mine is a Moonlit Glow, which I believe is their fairest shade. Really pretty, just kind of champagne-y color. It is very buttery. I will be having like an Instagram post come out relatively soon, because again, with Influencer, you have a few things that you have to follow to get the products. Basically, you have to post about them and just your thoughts and your reviews on them. So that should be coming out shortly, but the pan embossing is super cute with the stars. I don't super love like all the reflective packaging, but if the product performs well, I'm okay with that. So excited to use this as highlighter. And then as far as eyeshadows, I always like to kind of pick out one neutral, one more colorful. So my neutral is going to be ColourPop, Not a Box of Chocolates. I have yet to be able to use this yet, but it is just a really kind of all over the board neutral palette with mattes and shimmers. I think there might be like a press glitter. I think the PB Brittle is a press glitter. I can't really tell. I haven't swatched any of them, but excited to try these. Again, this is kind of that easy go-to palette that you don't really have to think too much about it. You throw a few shades on, it's gonna look great no matter what. So that will suffice for my colorful palette. Sorry, my neutral palette. And then this is going to be my colorful palette. Again, another Sigma product. This is Alice in Wonderland and Sigma collaboration. And this is what it looks like. So still a little bit more neutral tony over here, but then you kind of get into the cool tone blues and silvers and blacks and everything. So really excited to give this a go, as well as the Sigma eye brush. The only other Sigma brush that I've used is that powder brush, and I've really been enjoying it, so I'm excited to try out the eye brush as well. But let's do a quick recap of I keep wanting to say December, of January 2023 Shop My Stash. All right, and there you have it. I'm so excited to try out these new products, be able to finish some, be able to actually use some of them for the first time. This has been in my collection for a few months now, and I just haven't used it. And excited to be able to try out products to review. So very excited for everything. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like makeup content. Again, I'm doing my declutter series. I think my next one's gonna be highlighters. And I also do a lot of reselling content. So if you enjoy either one of those things, please consider subscribing before you go. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment. Which products are you excited to see me use or to review next month? And with that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.